became comfortable in that lifestyle of being sick. It belongs to your personality. Doesn't that sound crazy? That being sick is part of your personality?
Welcome to the Caroline Schmid podcast. I'm your host Caroline, and this is the stripped naked version of my life. This podcast is here to inspire, to support you, and to learn together. On here, I share my raw stories of my life, my wins and failures, all about energy healing, spirituality, and consciousness, and most importantly, on how to better your mental health. I hope you enjoy, and let's get into it.
Hello and welcome back to the Caroline Schmid podcast. I'm your host Caroline, and if you're new here, I'm a self-healing coach and meditation teacher, which means that I teach people to heal their bodies energetically. Today's topic is a really spicy one. Not in the sense of spicy one, but in the sense of a lot of people won't agree with me. Why? Because I'm going to tell you this. Why people do not get healthy? Why don't they? Number one factor is because they do not want to. And you'll say, well, Caroline, that's a very harsh statement to make. But give me a second and let me explain. In general, in life, if you have any situation, you will endure that situation as long as the situation is more comfortable than to change the current situation, to change your life, which change puts you into discomfort. Okay? So when the comfort is bigger than the discomfort of changing, so that you have a better life, which would mean even more comfort than your current situation, but you need to go through the process of discomfort, you won't change. Why? Because your brain is just wired that way that it will protect you from any additional labor you should not be doing. Which means that your brain likes to be lazy, it likes to save all that energy, because there might come a time where the tiger attacks you in your cave and you need to run, okay? This won't happen today, or for many people it won't. But your body is still conditioned biologically that way, that it is saving energy. The moment comes when people change is when the current situation, the comfort is smaller than the discomfort. It will make them go through that change to have a better life, and especially now with the focus topic of a better health. Okay? So when the current situation has little comfort, so more discomfort than the change that they will need to make, they will go through the process. And back to my first sentence I told you, people often do not want to get healthy because they're freaking comfortable. Now, we have two components here. We have comfort and we have a habit. Okay? If something in your life has been there for a very long time, meaning that the situation has become a habit because you cannot even remember when the pain, for example, or that sickness started in your life, it became a habit. And so you became comfortable in that lifestyle of being sick. It belongs to your personality. Doesn't that sound crazy? That being sick is part of your personality? Because it became a habit. And now today, I don't want to just talk about physical sickness, physical illness, and your physical health. But I also want to talk about your mental and emotional health. Where a habit, for example, becomes people-pleasing, or people-pleasing becomes a habit. Okay? Never saying no becomes a habit. never speaking up for yourself became a habit. And so you became a person who does not speak up for themselves. You became a person who said, well, I did that once in my childhood. I spoke up for myself. I said no to this person. And it didn't end well. And because you have that trauma from that situation, it can be very small, maybe insignificant situation now from your adult mind or from your older mind now thinking. This trauma has caused you to never want to say no to anyone anymore. So you always say yes. You always put others before you, before your own well-being. These are all habits that you have created over time and became a part of you. Now, what happens if we always take care of others first, but not of ourselves? What happens if we never speak up for ourselves? What happens if we do these detrimental mental and emotional habits over a long period of time? We start to lack in self-confidence. We don't know who we are anymore. We don't love ourselves because everything we do is always in the well-being of others, but then in the end, you feel shittier than you would have if you have told someone no, for example. And you think to yourself, how can I love someone who doesn't even treat themselves correctly and how they are worth? Okay, so because you don't treat yourself and have not been treating yourself at the level that you're worth, your self-worth down in the cellar and even beyond that. Okay, so all of these habits summed up became a part of your personality, where you, when you have a full energy field, okay? So let's say like not a full, like a big energy field. And that every time you don't put yourself first, you people please, whatever, your energy shrinks, okay? And you become very small, tiny, and all the energy in and around you is very dense, and there's a lot of guilt and sadness and anger, and all of these emotions build up in your body and are building up even more because you are continuing with these habits of people pleasing, of never saying no, etc., and not speaking up for yourself. So at the same time as you have that habit, emotions are saving up or stacking up in your energy field. Which means that if you have, for example, one subject that you cannot speak up for yourself in front of your mother, okay? So every time that situation happens, it's like one drop of water comes into the glass of not saying no, not speaking up for myself in front of my mother. So that glass, this subject, fills up over time, okay? And because this situation, this habit, will continue for a very long time until you do not change it, this glass becomes very full very quickly, okay? Now you have so many emotions saved up in that glass that the glass cannot hold the water, the emotions anymore. So what happens? It overflows, okay? You have a breakdown, but like a serious emotional burnout, okay? What happens is that the emotional pain, okay, that was saved in the glass is now transferred from the emotional pain, which the emotional body of our energy field is further outside, than our physical body. Okay, that makes sense. So from our emotional body, because the glass overflows, which means that there's too little space to hold all of these emotions, it collapses and it moves one layer towards your body, because your physical body is the most dense energetical part of your entire energy field, and the further out you go, the less dense it becomes. Okay, so we have the physical body, then right at that level you have the etheric, okay, and then you already have the emotional, then you have the mental, and so on. Okay, I work with the model of the 7 energetical layers. Some people work with 5 or 12. There's different models, but in general we are all saying the same, or meaning the same thing. So from the emotional, it drops into the etheric, and when you cannot hold, and the etheric is touching the physical, so it is already having a physical effect on your body, an effect on your physical body. Okay, which means now when the same happens in the etheric, that the emotions connected to that theme of not speaking up towards your mother becomes so dense again that it collapses and is saved into the physical body, which means that a body part in your body will get sick, will get injured, or you will have pain, inflammation, whatever. Okay, but it gets into the physical. Now, when I had a client, his name is Alish. He was at the time, I think, 75 years old. He fell down a ladder, and he did not hurt himself a lot, but he got a lot of shoulder pain from that fall. And he had that at that point for around 2 years. And he had such bad pain in his shoulder that he was not able to sleep anymore. He would wake up several times a night, and he had insomnia before that, but since the shoulder pain, it was immense. Like, he was not getting any good sleep anymore. So now, then when we sat together and I looked inside his energy field, I saw that pain in his shoulder is just a crystallized emotion, crystallized information of the emotion of guilt, because he was feeling guilty that he was not there for his father when he passed away. Okay? This guilt has been stacking up for a total, and I'll be ready, of a total of 25 years. Which means that the emotional layer has been holding that, okay? Then it became so dense that it went into the etheric. And then because it was so it was too heavy for the etheric layer, that in the moment that he fell, which you could either say that the etheric body triggered that, or that he fell, and in that millisecond, the emotion, which was now in the etheric body, in the etheric layer, manifested into the physical, into his shoulder. Now, it was in the physical. After the energy healing that we did together, and I'm talking about one session that we had together, and I did a very intense healing on him. We talked about it, stuff like that. I saw even his father on his deathbed. He was very surprised about what I was able to see and tell him, because he had not really talked about his father's passing for a very long time. He did not call me for like a week or so. So I called him and I was like, "Hey Alish, everything all right? Like, how are you doing?" And he said, "I'm so sorry that I didn't contact you, because for the first few days, I thought it was placebo. I just thought that my body was playing me a joke. Why? Because since our session that we had, he did not experience any pain in his shoulder anymore. Okay? So the pain that he had was gone. Why? Because we healed the source of it. And that's also what I do in the 12-week group mentorship of the Self-Healing Academy, where I teach people how to heal themselves energetically, okay? So they are independent in their healing journey, that whatever happens to them, their pets, people around them, okay? You can even become a healer and do that for other people. They can independently work on themselves and better their emotional, mental, and physical health. Okay, so after our session that I had with Alish, he had no pain in his shoulder anymore, and he was sleeping like a baby. That's what he said. Okay, so that's how powerful it is. First, if you keep practicing a habit which is detrimental for your health. So he was shaming himself. He was having huge guilt about that he was not at the deathbed of his father when he passed. And he was doing that. He was, self-sabotaging him with that shame and guilt all the time since 25 years. And it became so heavy that it came into the physical body and gave him excruciating pain. And then the other thing, which is super powerful, is not only the manifestation process, but once you heal the source of the issue, you have no physical issues anymore, okay? Because you heal the source. The symptom is the shoulder pain, but not the source. The source is and was somewhere totally different. So if you do not change your emotional, mental, and physical habits that you have right now, your body is going to carry the consequences in short term or long term, okay? But I can promise you that it will. It's just a question of time. Now, if you want to get healthy, mentally, emotionally, and physically, you have now the ability to apply for the Self-Healing Academy, because I'm doing another round of this group coaching. You are being included inside the meditation membership as well when you book the Self-Healing Academy, which is a 12-week group mentorship where you will learn how to heal your body at the source, which means that you won't experience the symptoms anymore that you are experiencing right now. Now, I'm talking migraines, I'm talking anxiety attacks, I'm talking panic attacks, I'm talking depression, I'm talking about healing your physical body from an injury, okay, a surgery that you had. I helped myself immensely with these techniques after I had a miscarriage, where the only thing that I was able to control in that moment was me following the protocol that I had memorized in my head, because I have been practicing energy healing now since 2017, which is for over 6.5 years now, okay? I knew the process of healing myself by heart. And in the situation of my miscarriage, where everything was happening in and around me, which I wasn't able to control, this gave me safety. This gave me control, and I was able to heal myself energetically so that I was able to miscarry naturally. I did not have to take any drugs that the doctor gave me. I did not have to have any surgery to take everything out of my uterus. I was able to conceive very shortly after, and now have a big healthy boy since last year. So all of that is thanks to me healing my body from the miscarriage, mentally, emotionally, and physically, and preparing my body for my next pregnancy. Okay, now I did that with the focus on the miscarriage. Okay, or when I had the miscarriage, that was my focus. Now I use these techniques for any health issue my family are having. Okay, because these energetical frequencies, you can use these in any situation. It does not matter if you have a physical issue, if it's your toe, if it's your ear, if it's you want to have better hair growth, it does not matter. Okay, so if this resonates with you, I highly encourage you to go and apply for the Self-Healing Academy, because I want that the whole world is able to heal themselves independently from anyone. Okay? That they are independent. Because independence and freedom are two words, things that I live by. I base most of my decisions on how much freedom does it give me? How much freedom does it take away from me? Okay? And being able to have these techniques to be able to heal myself is top shelf. Okay? So, I hope you enjoyed today's episode about why people do not get healthy. Follow for more episodes. If you are on YouTube, click the like button and follow. And if you have any subjects that you want me to talk about, go on my Instagram and just DM me a question that you have, maybe about your own health situation or a general thing you want to know about energy healing, about shamanic healing, about increasing your consciousness, meditation, all the good stuff. So go on there on Instagram and DM me your question. Thank you for listening, and hear you or see you the next time.